statement, and then we'll take questions for players.
So we've had a bye date on Sunday, and sometimes that's good, sometimes it's not so good. I kind of felt like we were playing good, and I hated to have the time off. I'm sure the kids would disagree. We're glad to have Sunday off, but you know, we've got back after it and getting ready for a really good LSU team. They've had some tremendous wins this year, and obviously coming off of a great win at Texas A&M when they were ranked in the top 10. So they'll, I'm sure, be ready to play here. We had a couple of knockdown dragouts with them a year ago, played really well down there in the first quarter, got out to a big lead, and then really played even after that. And here we had a 10-point game at halftime, had a great third quarter, and so we've got to be ready. I think our kids have done a good job the last couple days, and you know, we need to have one more good day to get ready for them. And Nikki will have her kids ready to play, I'm sure, and a lot of respect for her and her program. And they have a tremendous system and philosophy. It's been very successful to her and to them over the years, and we'll have to be ready for that.
All right, Phil, raise your hand. We'll take questions. We'll go Robbie and then Tyler.
Vic, I was looking at some numbers, and Rakia's scoring output has kind of gone up consistently with her rebounding numbers as well. What have you seen from her in terms of getting more involved in the game and in both of those areas?
Yeah, I just think she's getting more and more comfortable playing harder longer, and so I just think she's getting more comfortable with the college game and in our system, really more than anything. I think her teammates, she'd tell you her teammates have put her in a position to be successful. At the same time, I think her energy going to the boards and rebounding has been a big factor for us, her and Chloe adding to our total, because people are focusing on Jessica, and Jessica's numbers have come down. And we've got to get her back up to that 10-11 range a game where she's rebounding like she was earlier in the year. But it's just all energy, and you know, I think that's the one thing that Rakia's been able to bring both offensively and defensively. Shooting the ball really well, making good decisions, not settling, attacking, getting to the free throw line. And you know, she's hard to deal with because of her size and length.
Zaria, your minutes have come up this year. I think you're averaging close to 15 minutes a game. You know, one of the top minutes off the bench. Coach seems to have a lot of confidence in you. What are some things that you felt like you needed to improve on to get those type of minutes? And, you know, what are some things that you feel like you need to improve on even more to get even more minutes?
I think the biggest thing is last year I wasn't ready to play as much. Just being behind like Jazz and Ariel and Joe, you know, just being a freshman, I was kind of nervous and scared. But this year, I definitely know I had to step up, being that we didn't have them seniors, being that we don't have them seniors that we have this year. So I had to definitely work harder in the summertime. You know, I got prepared in Italy, and this year just working in individuals with Coach Schaefer. So I knew I just had to protect the ball because I had a lot of turnovers last year. So just protecting the ball and working on my shot and just being more comfortable.
Steve.
My coach talks about getting Jessica more involved again. You as the point guard, I mean, can you be a little bit too deliberate with that? I mean, do you have to do it in the flow of the offense, or is it a situation where you want to really go down and kind of call her number and get her more involved?
I feel like Jess is just a great player. She's not attacking more, but she's more physical. She's been more physical. She's been getting more rebounds. I feel like that when Jess is ready to play, there's no stopping Jess. And I feel like that just the same as the guards can get their shots, Jess can get quote-unquote her shots. I feel like that she's improved her jump shot as well on the in the corner and at the top of the key. So I just feel like when we do dribble drive, and I need to draw her man so I can give her the ball. But when Jess posts up and we give her the ball, she's gonna make the decisions with it. She's gonna be physical. She's gonna untuck her hips or whatever it goes. Unlock her hips. Not gonna untuck, unlock her hips, and score the basketball. But she's doing really well. She's actually right now she's out there working on her game and getting up extra shots. So she's going to continue to work. She's going to continue to be aggressive, and she's going to continue to get coached hard, and she's going to continue to take it and, like I said, just work hard.
Yeah.
Sorry, with those minutes going up, obviously you've come on strong in the scoring column the last kind of week or two. What do you attest that to? Is it just a matter of seeing some shots fall, or is it anything you chalk it up to?
Coach Schaefer has a big on us of getting shots up while we're on our off days. Just like he said, he doesn't like giving us off days, but we have to take that to our advantage and get shots up. So definitely just getting in the gym more and getting shots up and being more comfortable with my shot.
How much more confidence does that give you too? Just
A
seeing
lot,
some go through.
yeah, a lot of confidence.
Steve.
Vic, you mentioned Nikki. There's been some up and down with LSU basketball in your tenure at Mississippi State, but they're up again now. What do you see from them? What are they doing well?
You know, they're just so committed to pick and roll basketball, and you know, they're really physical, Steve. I tell you, their 4-5 are as physical as anybody in our league, and had the privilege to work with Ayanna this summer in USA basketball, and just so impressed with that kid. And you know, when you see it up close and day after day after day, it just really, and I already knew, you know, having to deal with her for the last few years, I already knew what she was capable of, but then to see her up close every day at USA basketball just gives you a further appreciation and respect for that kid. And she's a great kid, and you know, they're doing some really good things. They've had some great wins, and you know, Nikki's got them playing at a high level, so they're really committed to their way they do things, and they do it extremely well.
Any other questions for players?
I'd like to get one more for her.
Okay.
Jordan's played pretty well here in the last couple weeks, and Vic has said at times that she's like a second point guard on the floor. What has she done for you in kind of alleviating some of that pressure of being the team's point guard, and how would you assess how she's played in the backcourt with you recently?
One thing about Jordan, she's going to definitely give me my props when I'm doing good, but she's going to let me know when I'm messing up and doing wrong. And for that, I'm forever grateful. She's a second voice on the floor. With her being a senior and being a leader on this team, I feel like that when she says something, that everybody's engaged, everybody's listening, because if Jordan says something, then you know, you need to listen. She's more than likely right. But she gives energy. When Jordan's in the game and into the game, just energized, it makes it fun. It just makes it easier, and everybody just seems to follow her. And I feel like with that, and with her being on the scene, she's taking that responsibility and knowing that that's her role at many times on the floor. We have so many young kids, and like I said, it's only my second year playing, even though it's my third year here, and sometimes I need help, and I'm okay with that, and I go to Jordan for that help, and she's always willing to help me, and just being that second voice for me and for Coach Schaefer. So I'm very glad she's back. She's putting up tremendous numbers. She's playing really, really well, and when Jordan's engaged, she's hard to stop. So I just love playing with her and the energy she gives to this team.
Yeah.
All right, I came in, I heard the word confidence that you were giving an answer. Just talk about, and you may be repeating yourself here, but just talk about your role on the team and how much you're getting more comfortable with what you're doing out there on the court for this team.
My role in the team. I think I have a pretty broad role in the team as far as not only helping score the ball, but as far as defensively as well. A lot of times Coach Schaefer would like to put me on the other team's best offensive player. So I think this year I've taken that role, just like seeing how Jazz played defense last year and see how Jordan's playing defense this year, and just basically learning from them. And you know, my teammates are encouraging me in practice just to stay out there on the floor and just keep going out there, keep attacking. Like if I mess up, they tell me to go back on the court, you know, and keep working on it. So my teammates definitely help me, and they help me with the confidence that I need.
Vic, I saw that Johnny Harris is being recognized at an African American history banquet in West Point next month, and then she's going to be recognized at the Final Four too by the WBCA. What's it mean to have someone on your staff like that who's kind of, you know, being a pioneer for women in college basketball and coaching, and just how has she helped you along this ride? Yeah,
she's you know, being honored in Columbus as somebody that's impacted our community, and no question, she's certainly done that. She's impacted our community, she's impacted our program, our team, she's impacted me both personally and professionally. And you know, there's a lot of times you walk by her office and she's mentoring 3 or 4 assistant coaches from across the country in some type of video on her computer, and just talking to them about the progression of being an assistant coach and what that looks like. You know, assistant coaches, young kids, you know, young coaches, they want to get into the profession and they immediately want the Rolls Royce to drive as their complimentary car, and they want to live in the big 2-story house, and they don't realize that. I remember telling an assistant back when I was an assistant, look, that didn't happen for me for 30 years, you know, and I was broke when I decided to get the 2-story house. But, you know, she's just such a tremendous role model, and we're lucky, obviously, in this community to have her. She is being recognized at the WBCA again. She's been the National Assistant Coach of the Year, and she's being recognized again in a step up. And so, you know, again, I'm smart enough to know I can't do it by myself. I happen to have the best staff in the country, in my opinion. You know, Deanna was recognized at Christmas at a top 100 banquet in St. Louis for someone that's impacted that community and that city. And so again, I think what that shows is we as a staff, those, you know, my staff, Elena, they do so much more than just the X's and O's. They're so much more than just the strategy. They're obviously really good at that, but what they bring to the table is really, it's hard to find. And, you know, I have to hold on to those assistants every year. People come trying to take them every year. And we've been fortunate enough to be able to hang on to them. They're going to be great head coaches. And they take so much off of my plate. And, you know, again, just really blessed to have them.
We'll excuse the players real fast so they can finish getting ready for practice, and then we'll finish off the video.
Good job.